Money, money, money loves you. Money, money, money. Money loves me. Money, money, money. Money loves you. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited thinking about money. Money loves me. Money loves you. Money loves us. Oh my goodness, I am so excited. Look at this. We've got 21 people. We got the waiting room still full coming in. This is epic. All right, let me turn this on. Okay. Sweet, sweet, sweet. I am so excited. I wanted to make sure I couldn't actually play actual music because sometimes them rules, if we put this on YouTube, you know, I don't want to get kicked out. So I got to sing myself. Money, money, money. Money loves me. Money, money, money. Money loves you. Money, money, money. Money loves us. I'm gonna have to have somebody like make an actual song for that. Oh my God, my sister-in-law is here, Jay Lee. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Look at that. All right. Okay, let me know in the chat where you're from, what you're excited about, why you're here, what's going on. I want to hear from you. I'm super stoked. I am currently sitting in my niece's room, and I feel like the lighting, I travel a lot. One of the things I love oh, that's too much. One of the things I love so much is that I have, ooh, I think that'll be comfy for me. Okay. I have built my business in my family's house. Like, one of the videos that I sell that makes, oh my God, Jamie, I can say hi. Sweet, Neil is there. That's amazing. Okay. Oh, sorry, I got distracted. Yes, you guys are amazing. Hi, my family's here. I'm so excited. Okay, well, I have made some of the videos that I have made in my mom's kitchen, are making me thousands of dollars. Like, I just love it. Like, I can just go wherever I want to go, do what I'm doing, and just make money off of what I'm doing. It's fabulous. So fabulous. So I'm so super stoked about that. So we'll see how people are still rolling in. So over 140 people registered. So I'm gonna like give it a few minutes before I get started. I'm so super stoked. All right, I'm heading over to the chat box now. So if you guys want to again let me know where you're at, what's going on. And just to clarify, I did share this on my insurance exam queen side. This is not an insurance class. This is a money class. So we're talking about money over here. And it doesn't matter if you're selling insurance or whatever it is that you're doing. This is about bringing more money into your life. Oh, and Janie, you're there too. Hi, I see you. Okay. All right, perfect. Oh my God, the waiting room just fills up every time I bring people in, waiting room fills up again. All right, Abigail, I'm gonna add you as a is there a way? Can you be a co-host? I don't think I can make you a co-host right here. Dang it. All right,
I
well,
think you
whatever.
can maybe if you click on my name or the three
See, I
dots
got
around
chat,
me.
ask to start video, add pin, replace pin, make host, rename. I wonder if no, it's not letting me do a co-host thing. I probably had to do it at the beginning.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
wow. Oh,
So
wow. Well, I can probably still add you as host. I don't think I'm going to share screen at all, but if you can help me manage this, I don't want to not catch anybody in the waiting room. You know what I mean? Sometimes I forget.
sure, yeah, go ahead and make me host, and then I can also see if I can just make you co-host.
Okay. All right. And the recording should still be fine. So that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. So Abigail, please pay attention to that waiting room.
You
Okay,
got
I'm going to go through the comments here real quick so we can see what's going on. Wait, my chat disappeared. Okay. Oh, I can pop it out. There we go. All right, Vanessa, we love you. Melissa, I love you. And Jay Lee in Illinois, just me and my mama. Oh, okay. So I get it. Neil, you're on Jay Lee's computer. That's awesome. All right. Anita, hi, Melissa. It's 2 a.m. in the UK. Oh my gosh, we have some people all the way across the world in the UK. Some people from Australia over here checking it out. I'm super excited. All right. Vanessa, newly licensed, thanks to your help. Perfect. That's amazing. Gloria, Florida, so you're beginning your life and health insurance career. That's awesome. All right. And if you guys want to double check your mute, make sure, because I'm hearing a little bit of background noise. And you want to make sure we don't hear any weird stuff. So
Melissa, I'll go ahead and mute everyone, and then I'll just make it where they can't unmute themselves unless you want to bring them on, okay?
please, perfect. Thank you. All right. And then Sunita. Sunita, I'm so sorry if I'm bad. I'm so bad with names. I don't always pronounce them very well. I'm in the UK. It's gone 2 a.m. I love money. Let's see what happens next. Yes. Judy, hi everyone. Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I've got a couple people in North Carolina from here. Melissa, you are awesome. Thank you. Damien from Phoenix. I have never done any of your webinars or courses, and I'm going in blind. Damien, how did you find me? I'm super excited about that. Gloria, how's the baby? Baby is downstairs with her auntie. And she's amazing. She is popping out. She has 2 teeth on the bottom. Those ones came in first. Then she's got 2 teeth on the top, and now the sides, the next 2 teeth on the sides are beginning to come in. So she's got so much money happening. Anita, I love money. Yes. Abigail, hello. She's in Utah. Gloria, money, money, money. Abigail, money uploading. Yes. Dr. Virginia Richardson, we were just talking. She's in Illinois. She's here for a mind shift. Yes. Damien, you can make someone co-host in the middle of a call. Yeah, I can't figure it out though. Judy, you are here for income streams. Perfect. Cecile, hi there from Arizona. I'm in Arizona right now. If you guys are in the insurance exam queen world, I'm actually going to be meeting people tomorrow. So if you haven't registered for that, it's on the Facebook page and you can come meet me tomorrow in person. Wendy, hi from Australia. iPhone 2, going in for my second exam. Alina's here. Oh my God. We're going to be talking about Alina. Congratulations, Melissa. Thank you. You pronounce my name well. You call me Sunny or Sun. Perfect. Hi from California, New Hampshire. Congratulations on $1 million. Yes. We are coming in this energy. When I am not the best at keeping things calculated and organized. And I feel like it was just a few months ago that I had realized we hit 500,000. And then by the time we were starting to add up the numbers and keep everything on track, it was like, we're almost at 1 million. And then we hit 1 million, like we were watching it on the clock, like, and then a sale, like we were one sale away, and then $1 million, and it was amazing. And for me, it was kind of like this, of course, a very of course energy. It didn't actually feel too crazy for me to make 1 million. And then my sister threw me a party, and then it kind of like hit a little bit more like what we're doing here. And I have felt this massive energy shift within myself since hitting 1 million. And I want to be a part of helping you make 1 million, and not even just the money, but enjoying your life. But so many of us are trapped in this thing, like if we don't have money, we can't enjoy our lives. So it all kind of goes together, and we're going to talk about that. All right, Maria, I'm from North Carolina. Got my license. Yes, here to shift my mindset about money, learn how money works. I love money. Yes. Michelle, Fayetteville, Arkansas, you became my instant friend when I found you to help me pass the exams. Life and health last month just got started. You rock. Mandy, back to corporate world, newly relicensed after 18 years, ready to go and see how much I can level up. Yes. Anita, so excited for this. Yes, yes. All right, perfect. Okay. All right, so I'm going to dip out of the chats here for a minute, but feel free to put anything in the chat that you want. If you have any questions or whatever, feel free. You guys, some of you have video on, some of you have off. It's all up to you, whatever you feel most comfortable with. I'm going to have my video on here. All right, so this, as you can see, we have a wide range of people in the room. So I'm a person who I started a YouTube channel called The Insurance Exam Queen, where I help people pass their insurance exam. Some of you have met me that way. Some of you have met me in other ways. You've been in Facebook groups. Abigail has been with me before I even started anything related to a YouTube channel or Insurance Exam Queen. We met in a group about learning how to start an insurance, about starting a YouTube channel. Same with Alina. We had met in that same group. And it's been an amazing journey. Some of you have recently met me because the system that I use to sell the insurance courses that I sell asked me to talk about what I do and how I do it. And you've met me that way. So what I want to say, oh, and I dress like $1 million in my mind. Like, this is my princess dress. I put it on at Torrid, and I immediately felt like a prairie princess. And it was amazing. And then I've got my sparkling water. Always have water. I say I brought your favorite drink, but Always have water. Okay, so this is a large group of people coming from all different places. And then even when you get on when people could jump in and watch the replay, there's a lot of people in a lot of different places. But all of you clearly are wanting to change your life around money. And that is what I want to do for you, is to change your life around money. But even more than that, as I had mentioned before, I want to change your life so that you wake up every day loving life. Who wakes up every day? I'm in love with my life. My life is great and it's only getting better. Who already feels like that? And who doesn't feel like that? So I want to give me a 1 if you're like, life is amazing. I love my life. Life is great and it's only getting better. Give me a 2 if you're like, I think it can get better. Give me a 3 if you're like, my life's a struggle. Every day is a struggle. This is hard. This is tough. But I think maybe you could help. So yeah, of 1.5, a half of 1, 2. Okay, some days I'm 1, others I'm 2. Okay, so we got a bordering between 1 and 2. Your hair, your nails, and your princess dress. Yeah. So, I recently got my nails done. I've been incorporating the blue. These have been my solid colors, but I've been adding in the blue as like the Melissa Dillon side of things. Okay, perfect. All right, so we're in a 2 to 3. Okay, perfect, perfect. 1, 1, 2, 2. Okay. So this is going to be split up a little bit because again, you guys are coming from all over the place, and I just want to honor and recognize that you are here because you came here because you knew that I made $1 million, and you're like, somehow, some way, if it happened for her, maybe it can happen for me. I want a little bit of that to rub off on me, and that is my goal here with you today. Every person, if you don't know this, if this is something that you're not familiar with, we literally radiate energy. So like there are vibrations coming off of you. Like we can get a machine that can show that waves of stuff are coming off of you. And so right now I have waves of millionaire coming off of me. And anyone, even though we are so physically apart, because you are here in this room with me, interacting with me, my energy of millions is coming on you, is seeping on you. And so you get to soak that in. So being here and rubbing shoulders with me is helping you raise your, because the waves that come off of you are like, think of like a radio frequency, and your radio frequency is now matching to a millionaire. Like I want you, like you're getting to a level of millionaire via your energy. Whether you make $1 million in your bank account tomorrow, you've got the energy around you. Okay. All right. So anyway, some people in this room have no idea what I'm even talking about energy. And some people don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about law of attraction or anything like that. Other of you may be like, I am so involved in all of that. I understand everything you're saying. I totally get it. Yes, I'm soaking in your millionaire energy and I'm ready to hit that myself. So I kind of thought that I'm going to kind of split this up into 2 ways. First, I'm going to address the people who are on like a 2 to 3. So this is people who like are struggling in their day-to-day life, struggling with their jobs, struggling with people. So I want to address this side first. For those of you who are already like, I understand the high vibe life, I already get it. We'll be talking in a minute, but I want to start here. And it is a good reminder for everybody to remember that we kind of all started in a 2 to 3 at some point. For those of you who have a 1, did you used to live in a 3? Did you used to live with a mindset of life sucks, this is awful, every day is a struggle? Who used to be in a 3? I don't know, give me a 4 if you used to live in a 3. Give me something so I know I should better plan these out. Yes, okay. So that's what I want to talk about. So I am not a person, I have always kind of been a positive person. I have gone through some horribly difficult things in my life. I had an abusive stepmother. I was sexually assaulted in middle school by one of my classmates. I went to an abusive boarding school. If any of you have recently watched the program on Netflix, that's essentially what I went through in a ranch style boarding school in Montana. Lots of abuse for 2 years. I was living away from my family, felt like I was rejected, sent away. And for 2 years, I lived that. So I have gone through some stuff. My life as a child was not necessarily easy. There was a lot of difficult things along the way, but I've always had this mindset that like life will be okay somehow, some way. I held on to a little bit of hope that my life could be better. But there was a point where I found myself lying on my bed, because one of the biggest things I did as a woman, and maybe other women can let me know if you relate to this, share a one with me when if you relate to this. At some point, maybe you thought that the most important thing you needed to do was to find a partner or a man, that you needed to be chosen by a man. Does anybody relate to that? Like that was the number one most important thing that you dedicated yourself to once you were like a teen or an adult, like as a woman? Yeah, oh, good, Anita. I'm glad. I'm glad you did not struggle with that. For me, I think growing up with like Disney and stuff, there was a point where it was like the most important thing is that I need to be in a partnership, that I need to have a partner, and I'm not worthy or not loving if I didn't have a partner. And this can come from so much. So let me kind of back up a little bit. I do want to clear, I've been through some stuff. The thing is that we are all here. We are all here on earth right now to live our life according to the way we want to. Whatever desires you have inside of you came from our creator, God, source, energy, whatever feels good for you. I will definitely use Bible verses sometimes. I was raised in a Christian church, but I've come to believe that God is much bigger than one book can possibly contain. And so my belief about God has significantly expanded beyond one book. Okay. But anyway, we are here on earth to shine our light. Each of us are a unique light. And what makes our light shine the brightest is when we are ourselves, when we express ourselves the way we want to express ourselves. It wasn't that long ago, and you can go back on my Facebook and you can see pictures of me with long brown hair, trying to look normal and not express myself. My sister calls that my Karen face. I was not what I wanted to be. The reason for this is because when we grow up, our parents decide what is best. To have a good job to make money. I know what a struggle it is to be able to make money. So if I can get my kid to have a good education, they could have a good job and maybe they won't struggle with money. In order for them to have a good job, they have to be really smart. They have to get A's in school, and they have to look smart. They have to look educated, or whatever it may be. We come into this world completely ourselves as little beautiful babies, and slowly over time we are pushed upon by the world around us, and not it's our parents, it's society, it's America, it's TV, it's media. Everything around us begins to push on itself. Religion pushes on us and says, no, you can't be like that. No, you cannot be loud. You cannot be expressive. You cannot have colors. I had a Facebook comment today. I posted it on my Facebook. This guy said, I look spastic and freakish, and it's confusing to look at me. This is just one comment from one random stranger on the internet. How many have you ever been bullied in school for being who you are? Anybody ever get bullied? Give me a one if you've been bullied. If someone made fun of what you look like, what you sound like, what you talk like, what you eat, what you wear, right? So, and how many of us have been told, what will the neighbors think? What will the neighbors think? How often did you hear from your parents or someone else about, you can't do that? What will someone else think? What will they think? Oh my God. How many of you, if a child is throwing a tantrum in the store, do you begin to judge the parent and the child for that situation? We are taught to judge the people around us, to make assumptions. Yes, when my child throws herself on the floor, she is expressing, she hasn't quite thrown herself on the floor. She stiffens her body when she's trying to get into a car seat. But a child actually is the best at being able to express their emotions because they don't know anything else and they just allow their emotions to release. But we make all kinds of opinions about when we see stuff like that. So, anyway, I got so much to say, but we are all here to shine our bright light. But as we grow up, our parents make decisions about what we can or cannot do, how we can or cannot look, what we should or shouldn't do, what school we need to go to, what education we need to have, what religion we should subscribe to. Lots of decisions are made for us. And then we need to, oftentimes, we feel like we need to please our parents. My parent wants me to be a doctor, so I'm going to go be a doctor. This will make my mother happy, so I'm going to be a doctor, even though that has you have no desire to be a doctor. Many people have subscribed to doing something simply to please their parents or to make them happy. Additionally, we watch things like movies. Like, the movies that I grew up watching made me think that it was so important that I needed to be in a relationship, that I needed to have a man, that I needed to be chosen, and that would make me important. I had a belief for a long time that the only way to be a beautiful woman would be having long hair. It was there was a journey for me getting to the point of accepting that I really enjoy short hair. That's just what I like. I've never really, when I've looked in the mirror, when I've had longish hair, the person I see isn't me. We may dress a certain way. I was just listening to a woman the other day who said, I dress like this because I'm 50 years old and this is how a 50-year-old woman should dress. I'm like, there ain't no rule that says because you're 50, you have to look like this. You could do whatever you want. Janie over there, I know you're Neil's mom, so I don't know if you're 50, but I know you're old enough that you have purple hair and you're like, I don't care. I got purple hair. I love that. I love that. So anyway, we are here to shine our bright light. But when we grow up, when we go through things, people dim our light, not intentionally. Our parents didn't do this to us because they are mean or evil. Our parents did this to us because they wanted what was best for us. And our parents did it to us because it was done to them. We have a long chain of human history of parents telling children, you can't do this, you can't do that, you have to do this, you have to do that. Don't be too loud. Women are not allowed to be loud. Don't wear too many colors. That's going to draw attention to you. Don't do this. That whatever, like all kinds of stuff. But additionally, aside from that, we also go through experiences that may traumatize us. Okay? It could be something as you love to sing and you sing and someone is annoyed by your singing because they're focused on something or they just feel like being a bully and they go, your singing sucks. So then you are like, oh my God, I will never sing again. Because what will the neighbors think is a belief that we have that the people around us must feel good about us. There is a friend that I have that is constantly focused on what other people think about them. And if other people don't have a positive opinion of that person, then their world falls apart. Somebody didn't like me. Someone on the internet said that I'm a bad person. And what do I need to do to fix that? We are so worried about other people's opinions of us. Okay. And it changes how we behave. It changes how we operate. It changes what we do. Okay. So again, you're here to shine your brightest light, but our light gets dimmed. Our light is dimmed by rules, conformity, bullying, trauma, all kinds of things. The things that we experience as we are growing up begin to program us and condition us to operate in a certain way. So for example, my father used to scream and yell at my mother. And I was a young child watching my father scream and yell at my mother. I very clearly have a memory of him screaming and yelling at her while she's sitting on the kitchen floor, hands on her head, banging her head against the cupboard because his screaming and all this stuff is just crazy. And I'm sitting to the side watching this happen. And I want to help my mom, but I cannot help my mom. And I begin to form this belief, and I can't help her because then I will now be a target. I will make him more upset if I try to stop him. And then I will become a target, which will make everything worse. So I formed a belief that I needed to stay small, that I needed to stay quiet, and that would keep me safe. So many of us, if we've gone through anything, and it doesn't even have to be traumatic per se, oh, like, oh, that was this, like, if I could think of like someone telling you stop singing, but it could have hit you. Like, that's not abusive. Screaming and yelling at and watching your dad like verbally abuse your mom, that's pretty traumatic. But even just somebody saying, stop singing, you're so annoying. If your sister said that to you, stop singing, you're so annoying. That is a traumatic thing. That can be a traumatic thing to you. That begins to form a belief. People think I'm annoying, I shouldn't sing, nobody wants to hear from me. These are beliefs that your mind can pick up, and they're meant to protect you so that the crowd will love you. Right? Again, we are taught, we are conditioned, what will the neighbors think? And so we are conditioned to be people pleasing to society as a whole. It is very rare for people to want to disrupt society. Usually it's only celebrities, I have noticed, that disrupt the norm and disrupt what is typical. And then they're more open to bullying. We bully celebrities more than we bully anyone else. So anyway, we are raised with all these beliefs, these programmings, and these conditionings. And what it ends up doing is that we end up being a person who's kind of running our life on like autopilot. And we may find ourselves like, I had a belief that I had to go to college, I had to get a job. Having a job is the only way that you can be financially secure, and that was it. So even though I mean, it was like I grew up believing I'm a teacher, like core, through my core, who I am, every cell in my body is teacher. So I knew I was going to be a teacher, but I didn't know that there was other opportunities for teaching outside of school teaching, because that's all I saw as a kid growing up, other than like a pastor. But a pastor is a man who teaches the Bible, and that wasn't appealing to me. So I was like, okay, I have to be a school teacher. So I have to go to college. I have to get this job. And then I'm working my job, and every day work is a struggle. It's difficult to accomplish everything I need to accomplish. I'm not making enough money. And I find myself in this cycle of go to work, work really hard, get tired, come home exhausted, barely make myself a decent meal to eat. If I do, crash, wake up just to do it again. And this was my cycle constantly. And then the weekends were for partying, where I'd get up, get drunk, and I worked hard for this. So I'm going to consume all this alcohol so I can forget the fact that I just slaved away this past week for something I didn't even enjoy. And I'm just going to do this for the rest of my life until some point that I retire. Like this is what human life is. This is what we've decided on earth is what we do. And I literally got physically ill. I got so physically sick. In fact, I dare say that almost any illness we have is related to stress, which is related to trauma and belief systems that we carry in our body. And I fully believe that we can heal damn near anything we've got going on. Dr. Joe Dispenza actually talks all about this. And if you have a medical condition that you feel like, I mean, any medical condition that you don't want to have anymore, look at Dr. Joe Dispenza. He talks all about how to heal your body from the inside out. Because what the outside world is when we're living in the outside world, and what I mean by that is circumstantial living. If your life is based upon what is happening around you, you're not living your life. You're living the experiences around you. Okay. So like you wake up, you stub your toe. Oh, God damn it. This thing stubbed my toe. And now I'm going to have a horrible day. And then you drop your cup of coffee and it's, oh, fuck this shit. And you're living according to what happens to you, instead of your inside coming out like, oh, I stubbed my toe. Okay. Let me take a second and appreciate that I have a toe. You go, let me appreciate that I have a toe right now more than I am a person of fuck all that shit that's happening to me. I used to be that person though. And I want to talk about this. Making $1 million. Like I said, this is not a business class. This is not a business class, because I didn't I made $1 million via my business, but I couldn't even get to the point of starting my business until I began to acknowledge and recognize that I was living according to beliefs and programs and not shining my unique bright light. Okay. So this is why we're talking about this. We are talking about how we are programmed and conditioned by parents, society, traumatic events, belief systems, religion, school systems. They all like as the insurance exam queen, half of what I do is encourage people because they see the word fail on an insurance exam and they think their life is over. I feel like I'm just redoing karma. Like as a school teacher, I had to tell children, you know, if you fail, this is the worst thing. You can't fail because then you're going to be stuck. And if you're stuck and then life is over. And can you imagine if you're a sixth grader when you're supposed to be an eighth grader and all your friends leave you? And we made fail like be the worst thing ever. I did that as a school teacher. I had to quit teaching because it stressed me out that I was like conditioning children. I was mean to children. I had to bully them to get them to sit down and shut up and listen to me for the next, 2 hours or however, 8 hours, up to 8 hours a day. These are the things that happen to us as we're growing up, and it causes us to have a certain belief system about ourselves. So some of you are here are supposed to be speaking, but you're terrified of speaking. Some of you here are supposed to be singing, but you're afraid to sing. Some of you are supposed to be writing books, but you won't write because you think you're a bad writer because someone else might be a slightly better writer than you. There's so many beliefs and conditionings that we have that prevent us from living the life that we want to live. And many of us are also living in very circumstantial energy, which means my life is dictated by what happens to me. So if my boss yells at me at work, I now have a horrible day. I'm beginning to worry and stress about my future as if the boss gets to dictate everything about my future. I begin to worry about how I'm going to pay my bills. So the whole world that I'm living is based on what someone else outside of me said or did to me. And so if you're living in your head worried all the time about what's going to happen and what's going on next, if you're living one emergency after another, you are living according to your programming and conditioning, and your light is essentially turned off. There's not even a part of you that's really you when you're living according to circumstances. And if another person out there in the world can cause you to worry and have fear and doubt yourself, your light is not really turned on. It's very dimmed. And some of us are very buried, and our light doesn't ever even get to shine in any form or fashion. I want you to shine so bright that it blinds people. That is what I'm doing. I blinded that guy on Facebook who said that I'm spastic and freakish. Like, he looked at my profile. He's like, you're confusing to look at. Like, I want to be so bright and shiny in my energy that people need sunglasses, to the point where they're like, I can shine just as bright too. And now we're all shiny together. That's my goal. So I want to wrap this part up real quick. If you're a person who has a lot of fear, worry, and doubt, if you're a person who lives often according to your circumstances, what is happening around you, if your boss can say something, if your kid can say something, if your partner says something and it makes you go into your mind and you obsessively worry about all the things, if you've gone through traumatic events in your life and you've never done any healing work, like, I didn't actually know that I was extremely traumatized as a child growing up. One of the examples I wanted to talk about was my father would use me as his therapist, meaning he would sit me down and he would tell me all of his life problems, even as a young child. I'm like 8 years old listening to this man, my father, talk about his struggles with his sex life with my stepmom. As an 8-year-old, I'm listening to his problems. He would tell me his problems about my mom and the divorce and all the struggles and all the stuff. And I'm like, Dad, okay, yes, how can I make you feel better? Like, I had to take all this on as a kid. He literally raised me to take care of a broken man. So who do you think I began marrying and dating? Broken men. And it was my job to fix them. It was my job to help them be better. It was my job to take care of them. So this is one type of belief that we could be living according to. I didn't know that I was carrying that trauma within me. I didn't know that I had a pattern of intentionally seeking a broken man who would need me as his therapist in order to feel better in life. So often we are living according to a program that we don't even realize we're doing. I was just like, oh, I just must attract. I just have a bad taste in men, not realizing that it came from something else. Additionally, we carry trauma in our bodies from our family. So you actually existed inside your grandma. A woman's eggs. So when a woman, man and women, like women have eggs, men have sperm, right? As a baby, when my baby was in my uterus, she had all the eggs she was ever going to have. They're already in her body as a baby inside my belly, which meant my baby, when she was an egg, was inside of me when I was in my mother's belly. This physically is the representation of how trauma carries on. So what I'm trying to say is, like, if my grandma was raped and assaulted, I'm going to carry that trauma in my body even if I was never raped or assaulted. If your grandma had to witness murder and your grandpa, even, like, it doesn't matter, because he's half an egg too. So, like, don't think it's just women I'm talking about here. But we all are genetically connected to the trauma that the people before us, minimum 2 generations before us, experienced. So when I say something like, I figured out that I was attracted to men who needed a therapist because my dad raised me to take care of a man who needed a therapist, that's one thing that I can have a logical explanation for. But there will be things in your energy and in your experience that you won't always have a logical explanation for. It came before you, it came from someone else. And when you go through a traumatic event like that, and it stays in your DNA, it rolls out in your family members. And this is why, if you've seen on Facebook, people will talk about generational healing or breaking family curses. We have a family curse in my family with gambling. We have a family curse. There's some people with like alcoholism, and we've got to break these. We break these curses by no longer living in them. Now, there are many ways. So I found myself living life. I feel like I'm kind of going all over the place, but I'm just trusting that what's coming out is what needs to come out. What stops you from living your life is all kinds of stuff like this: programming, conditioning, other people bullying you, whatever it is, traumatic events from your past. The main thing is that you need to be able to heal from that and move on from that. The traditional path that people tell you is you've got to go to therapy. But the thing is, going to therapy doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have a good therapist. I know people that I tried therapy, it sucks. Well, maybe your therapist sucked, not therapy in general. But I don't even love traditional therapy all in of itself either, because a lot of it is just talking and trying to find the logical explanation for why you behave the way you behave. But the thing is some of the ways that we behave, we cannot logically understand in our lifetime why we act that way, because it could be a trauma that came from our grandparents. So my point in what I'm saying this is that you got to heal these things, and you don't have to heal it with, I think Jay Lee's there. You don't have to heal it with just therapy. There's all kinds of ways to do this, all kinds of ways to heal. Literally, you can go to YouTube and Google trauma healing, and you can find a video that says, if you sit and put your hand over your mouth and scream, just scream, and do that for like 45 minutes, you will release. Because the thing is all, like, at the end of the day, all of these things that we experienced, even the trauma from my grandma that's in my body, the way that my dad controlled, manipulated me, and treated me like his therapist, the boarding school that abused me, manipulated me, controlled me, mind fucked me in a million ways. All of those things that happen are like energy. Okay. They're just, I want you to imagine like every time you had a traumatic moment, like this orb of light came to your body and then got stuck there. That's like the easiest way to think about it. And so that's what dims your light, right? So imagine every traumatic event is like this black blob. And so you're made and created to shine your light, to come to this world, be uniquely yourself. Everything that you desire in your life came from God. Everything came from God. There's not one thing on this planet that is not God. Okay? Everything. If he is everything, then he's everything. You have to accept that he's everything. And you are part of him. To biblically say you are a child of God, you are a piece, you are a version, you are one source of coming from him. So anyway, you are supposed to shine your bright light. You are supposed to be your unique self. But you will go through experiences that basically put black blobs all over your light. You can remove these black blobs of traumatic events and all these things that happen from you by doing all sorts of things. The traditional route was therapy, but you can do other types of therapy. I began by reading books. I began by listening to other people talk about how they healed their journey and the things that they did. Then I began to learn about energy. I began to learn that these blobs of things that were preventing me from shining my light are just literally trapped energy in my body, and I need to move. I need to move it. I need to allow it to move. I need it to be felt, and I need to let it go. So for an example, my sister just went through a miscarriage of three I don't think she actually had babies in them, but 3 placentas. And she was so desiring to have a baby again. She wanted a baby. She really, really wanted another baby. She was so excited she was pregnant. She's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And she finds out that they're dead. They're not alive. It's going to be miscarried. And she went through a session. She did a healing session. And what she did in this session was she felt all the feelings, the sadness, the grief, the disappointment, all the things. You got to feel all the things. This is the craziest part about what we experience in childhood, is that no one teaches us how to deal with our feelings. Most of us have parents that cannot deal with their feelings. In fact, they tell, like, if you have a child and the child behaves in a way that makes you upset, and you go, shut up, sit down, go over there, you do not know how to deal with your feelings. You think that your child is the problem. You don't realize you're the problem. Everyone has a right to express their feelings, but we are terrified of feelings. We are terrified of these feelings because, like, when I was younger, I was not allowed to feel or express my feelings. The only feelings that mattered were my dad's feelings, and his feelings had to be taken care of. And so if I ever expressed sadness, me expressing sadness would make my dad mad. So I wouldn't express sadness. I would not feel my feelings. Most of the problems that we have in this world are people who do not know how to feel their feelings. And healing yourself is allowing yourself to feel your feelings. So my sister felt all the feelings instead of like burying and suppressing, because it's so normal for miscarriages that women will never talk about it. You won't even know about it. You don't even know that probably out of the 36 people in here, I'd say probably 40% of you are women. I bet at least 5 to 10 women in this room have had a miscarriage, and that at least 8 of them have probably never told anybody about it, because it's shameful to us, or we've been made to believe it's shameful, or we don't want to push it on someone else. Oh, I just had a miscarriage. Oh my God, like, what do I do? Like, pat your back? It's very difficult for us to handle someone else's scary and sad emotions. We don't know how to do it. We don't know how to sit with another person who has big feelings. We want to fix them. We want to shush them. This is something I've learned as a parent. My daughter has a big feeling, and I want to immediately get her to stop crying. Stop crying, stop crying. But she's just expressing a feeling. She's just expressing an emotion. But if we lack so much knowledge about emotions, we lack knowledge about expressing our feelings. And so all of these traumatic events that we've been through, all the bullying that we've experienced, all the conditioning from our parents, so much of it is unable to handle and manage our feelings, that we trap them. And this is what dims our light. And then we're not shining our unique selves. We are putting on a facade to other people. And then we go about our life thinking that circumstances dictate our life. We have no control, and that life generally sucks. And this is how most of the world that I have seen is living their life. And I was like, I want to live a better life. And in order to live a better life, I had to learn these things. I had to learn that I've been through traumatic experiences. I had to learn that I have trapped energy in my body left over from these traumatic experiences. I had to learn to regulate my emotions. Some of you may only see me as a mother to my baby, but I adopted my eldest daughter. So I have adopted my eldest daughter, and I was not a functional parent. She would do or say something, and I would scream and yell, you cannot do that. Sit down, shut up, go to your room. That is not a person who knows how to manage their emotions. I was not a person who knew how to manage my emotions. I spent more time trying to control her than I spent trying to control myself. My father, he tried to control like he was so out of sorts. Like he could not function in the world with his own feelings, that he thought, most of us do this, where we think if you changed, I would be different. Like I do this even with my husband. Stop behaving that way, because when you behave that way, it makes me do this, and I don't want to do this. Instead of saying, I do this, how can I fix this? Or how can I change this? I tell him he has to do something different. And I was doing that to my daughter. I'm like, I'm a happy person. You came into my world and you started doing this. And that's what made me scream and yell. And that's what caused me to do it. It's your fault that I'm like this. But in reality, she was just exposing for me that I had all this trauma in my body and all these experiences in my body. So we have to heal these things. This is the $1 million move, is healing our past experiences that has caused us to dim our light. Healing the generational trauma that is in your body that causes you to dim your light. All of this stuff causes us to dim our light and to not shine our light bright. If you are any place, like if you don't already know what I'm talking about, like if this is the first time you've heard this, if like you've heard some of this, but you haven't quite gotten into it, what I want to encourage you to do is to begin working on that. And I actually made a document for you. So let me, I do want to share my screen actually, Abigail, if I'm
Okay,
allowed.
let me go ahead and put you back as host.
Thank you. Oh wait, it's looking like it's going to allow me to do it. Okay. All right, I'm going to share this link with you so you guys can see this document here. Copy link. Okay. All right. So this is my $1 million moves healing document. And I wanted to quickly get compile a list for you to get you help on your journey. Someone had already mentioned Louise Hayes. I love that. These are some of the books that I read to begin my healing journey. This is not a complete list, but these were some of the favorites and the ones that stuck out to me when I recalled my journey of healing. Highly, highly recommend The 4 Agreements. Oh my gosh, everyone in the world needs to read that book. YouTube channels that you can watch to help you begin with healing. Dr. Joe Dispenza, super amazing. Bob Proctor, he talks about this stuff. Kyle Cease, he is really good at this, but you may find that it's difficult to understand him until you've kind of been immersed in this a little bit. And then any video on Louise Hayes is amazing. She does have a direct YouTube channel, but I found that if you just Google her name, you get better videos. There's an audio book on YouTube that you can listen to. I've listened to this book like 3, 4, 5 times. It's a 2-hour book. It was actually written like 100+ years ago. And it's an amazing book, especially if you consider yourself Christian or godly. That is an amazing book. And then I want to recommend some of the people that I have worked with that have helped me with healing. So my sister Sarah is absolutely incredible at this stuff. She's the one who actually teaches how to understand your emotions, how to get a grip on what's going on. If you're a person who's complaining all day about what is going on and how other people are ruining your life and causing you problems, and if you find yourself screaming and yelling at your children and screaming and yelling at your spouse and frustrated by all the things, you do not have a grip on your emotions. You do not understand emotions, and you need a one-on-one emotional class. And that is what she has in her up level course. I took it. It was phenomenal. It was absolutely amazing. And even though I had been on my journey already in that regard, she shined a whole new light on me for those things. Now, she is going to be offering a free masterclass on Monday, the 29th, to talk about up levels. What she offers is called Up Level. If you want to learn more about that, you can click that link and register for her free masterclass. Alina is one of the people in the meeting right now. So I'm going to talk more about that, but I want to show the link right there. Also, I would recommend, if you're in a space of, if you want to grow, if you have a business that you want to grow, Christine is my coach, and she offered us a coupon to one of her courses called the Be Collective. It's actually a monthly membership that you can join. And then if you're in any type of business world and you want to make millions of dollars, Melanie Ann Layer's Alpha Femme group is what to join. Now, again, these last two are more like business related, where the rest of this is more healing related. And so I would start here if that's where you're at on your journey. Okay. So everybody has a link in their comments. All right. So let me talk about Alina and what she does. So I talked about how you can go to traditional therapy, which is like you talk to a person. And in therapy, you may talk to a person and they would say, oh, you say, well, my dad was really mean to me. And they're like, well, how do you feel about that? Well, I feel like it sucked. Therapy can be a little bit slow. And traditionally, we'll say like it could be years of therapy before you have any relief. You need to have relief right away. If you are struggling with your life in any form or fashion, if you have a moment in your day where you're like, oh, this sucks, like this is so awful, like you need relief from that. If you feel stressed in your body to the point where you have physical ailments, you need relief from that. You relieve yourself from that, from removing that trapped energy of your body by understanding that you have these programs in you that protect you. And what Alina does is she does something called rapid transformation therapy, RTT. And it was started by Marissa Peer. I'm going to put that in the, can you write that in the chat box? I got it actually. RTT Marissa Peer. Okay. So you can Google RTT Marissa Peer and learn more about it. In fact, that should be one of the books that I put on the list. But instead of taking forever to talk about things and how you feel about those things, RTT goes right to the root of the problem. So, and Alina throws her own spin on it. Thank you, Abigail. Alina throws her own spin on it, and she does it in her unique way. And so I've worked with her directly, and I love her so much. And her link is on that thing. So if you desire to quickly make huge changes in how you feel and how you operate, if you desire relief, then I would highly recommend the RTT. Now, if you can't afford that, I mean, of course, it's going to cost you money to do therapy. Start with reading the books. Start with watching YouTube. There is so much free content that can help you. Even going to Alina has YouTube videos on her page outlining, like you can go and hear my own story of the different things that I have healed with Alina. There's no way I would have made $1 million without her. I guarantee, like I did multiple sessions with her at the very beginning of my business and throughout my business. And even with my relationship with David, I had some sessions related to that. And it has completely transformed the way I think, the way I feel. It has shifted and moved so much of that blah black energy that dimmed my light. I shine brighter and more shiny since working with Alina and doing that healing. I still also do have a regular therapist, I think because I like to hear myself talk. But I'm a verbal processor, so I have a regular therapist. I do RTT therapy. I've also done some energy healing where a person like meditates, does a meditation with me and like moves energy around. There's also that was called IST therapy that I did. And then there's also like Reiki stuff. There's so many stuff. There is so much free knowledge that you can do to help you on your healing journey. I meant to make that only take about half an hour, but, or yeah, yeah, but it ended up taking the whole hour. So I'm going to trust that's what we needed to do. But Alina's here. Hi, Alina. She can say hi. But if you want to know more, she's got the website. I'd highly recommend doing a session with her if that's possible. If it's not possible, again, read the books, watch YouTube channel. Maybe you end up working with her a few months down the line, which is totally fine. Like not everything you need to do it right now, right away. Okay. Now, on the other side of things, now I want to talk to people as a business owner. Okay. Now, some of you may be interested in becoming a business owner. Some of you may want to start making more money via a business. So this is the conversation that I want to have with you. Our businesses, we have, like for me, I was already deeply on my healing journey in terms of understanding that I was programmed and conditioned and all of these things. But healing never really ends. Healing never, there will always be another thing. There will always be another level of a problem that you will have to experience. For instance, many of you may have experienced a problem of like, my car broke down and I need, $3,000 to fix it. And $3,000 can feel like the largest amount of money ever. But when you're in a business and you desire to be making large sums of money, your problem won't be my car, $3,000 car broke down. Your problem is going to be my website crashed and it's and all this stuff happened and it's now a $30,000 problem. And you need to be in a space that can help. You need to be able to take on bigger problems. So this is the thing with being able to bring in a lot of money and to have a business and to do all this amazing stuff. We tend to think that there will be a moment where everything will be perfect and you won't have a problem again. For me, it was like, if I could make $5,000 a month, I wouldn't ever have another problem again. And I was like, I just need to have my business make $5,000 a month and I will be set. This was a belief that I had. And then I made $5,000 a month and my problems did not go away. And then I was like, well, okay, what about 10,000 a month? Let's make 10,000 a month and then my problems will go away. And my problems didn't go away. In fact, I got new problems. More money, more problems. Different problems. Then I made 20,000 a month. Then I made 30,000 a month. Then I made 40,000 a month. And I am still in a space of like, when will life become super easy? Because I'm feeling like I'm still struggling. I'm feeling like there's stuff going on. And it ultimately came down to me understanding is that there will always be an ebb and flow to life. There will always be ups and downs. There will always be good and bad. You cannot, to the highest pleasure you want to feel, you can't feel large sums of pleasure unless you have felt the depth of horrible pain. As low as you go is as high as you can go. So if you're shooting for the moon and the stars of money, of epic wonderment or whatever, you also have to hold space for like the bad stuff. But I have come to a point where I realize that there's nothing really bad. There's just life. It just is. And you have to be in a space where you can receive anything that is happening in your life and know that you're okay, that there's nothing wrong with you. If you think like so many people will have a business and they're like, it's not working, there must be something wrong with me. Or Melissa made $20,000 a month and I'm not making barely 2,000 a month. There must be something wrong with me. That's what's wrong with you, is you think there's something wrong. So if you are wanting to be able to make millions of dollars, you need to be able to hold the good and the bad. You need to be able to accept all of it. And then the most magical of all, which you should honestly be doing at the very beginning, is you need to be playful about life. One of the best things that helped me, even starting the Insurance Exam Queen business to begin with, was I started being playful. I went back to the things that I enjoyed. I went back to the things that felt fun. I was reading books way more often. In fact, I honestly had made a video about how I found myself like depressed in a way. I don't think I've ever been clinically depressed by any means. I had a sad day. And a sad day for me was like sitting on the couch, feeling like nothing will ever get better and oh, this sucks. But I was feeling that way. And there was a thought that came to me that said, go to the library. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the library. I can get some books. I love reading. I love reading youth book like dystopian novels with teenagers in them. Like that's totally my, like the Hunger Games, like stuff like that, totally my jam. I love reading books like that. And so I went through the library and I started getting all these books and I started reading again. I started enjoying my day. I started having a great time. I started doing things that I love. Like, crazy as it is, when I was a kid, I was grounded often. And so I was sent away into my room. And for hours, I just had to be alone in my room. And so I had to find ways to entertain myself. And one of the things I would do is sit in front of the mirror and do my hair like 1,000 different ways and play with makeup and play with jewelry and all kinds of stuff. And I stopped doing that when I was adult, but I found myself wanting to do it again. And I just would sit in front of the mirror and I'd play with my hair and I'd play with my makeup. No one would ever see it. It wasn't about anybody else. It was just me tapping back into my childhood. It was me tapping back into the things that I loved and the things that I enjoyed. And so I had to play. You have to play. You have to have fun. You have to enjoy yourself. And the biggest millionaire move that anybody can be great, that anybody needs to make is, I love my life. I love my life. I love my life. I love my life. I love my life, and my life gets to get even better. If you're in a space of I don't love my life and you think that something else needs to change for you to love your life, the thing that needs to change is you. There's nothing outside of you that can change that will make you love your life. There's nothing outside of you that can change that will make you love your life. Making 5,000 didn't do it. Making 10,000 didn't do it. Making 20,000 didn't do it. Making 30,000 didn't do it. I had to love my life because I love my life. And when I started loving my life, everything else fell into place. So this goes back to this idea of like this frequency and the things that we're radiating, is when I love my life, you can't ever have a life you love until you love the life you have. And this is where you have to feel gratitude for what you have in order to have even more. If you're spending most of your day and in your business frustrated and annoyed by all kinds of things, like this isn't working and that's not working and this client failed and that client failed and then now I have this big bill that I have to pay and oh my God, taxes came up. If that is your focus, you're bringing more of that into you. And what you want to do to shift that is to begin to be grateful for what you have. I am grateful that I have a tax bill because it means I made a lot of money. I am grateful that I have customer service problems because it means I have a big enough business that I'm servicing so many people. You have to flip the script on how you're operating. one of the biggest beliefs that we need to flip the script on is money. And so I do want to talk about too, like you guys are here for $1 million moves. We often have a very negative belief attached to money. There's never enough money. I'm poor. I'm broke. We hate people with money. We bully people with money. We often think that people with money are bad people. How many movies do we watch and the rich guy is always the villain? Like we have been programmed and conditioned to believe that being rich is bad. And this is how the wealthy keep their money is they convinced all of you that having money is bad. And we believe it and we're falling into their system. I'm like, if Jeff Bezos can, I can. If Elon Musk can, I can. Instead of like, he shouldn't spend his money that way and he should solve world hunger and he should do this and he should do that. Instead of having those beliefs, I'm like, if they can, I can. And then when I make the money, I get to go what I want to do and I can spend it my way and do my thing. So one of the things that I offer is magic money. And in magic money, it's a playground for money. It's a way of coming back. So this is one, acknowledging that we have programs and beliefs. So some of us may be traumatized by money. Many of us are. If you've ever had a moment where you're like, I don't know what the heck to do. My paycheck's gone. I have a huge car bill. How do I feed my kids? These are all things that cause us to have trauma around money. One, we need to be able to address that trauma, flip the beliefs that we carry. Two, we need to be playful with it. So like I just said, we got to be playful. We got to start playing with money. We need to go back to being kids where we used to imagine things and have fun with things. And so that's what magic money is all about. I wanted to make it super cheap so that it doesn't feel like a big thing, but it allows you to expand your ideas about money, allows you to change your beliefs about money, allows you to rub your shoulders with people who are making millions of dollars. We have at a minimum 2 millionaires in that group. I'm one, as I own I want to clarify, I don't have $1 million in my bank, but I own a multi-million-dollar business. And then I do have a friend who does have multi-millions in her bank because she sold her business. So there's 2 millionaires in that group. There's all kinds of people in that group. There's people who create crafts and sell that. They create jewelry. They sell that. My sister's in that group. She creates online courses and she helps people with their emotions. There's a person in there who has no job, no business, but they want to feel better about money. There's many different people in that group. And I want to invite you all to that group. And in fact, I told you there's a bonus if you're live. So I want to ask you guys a couple questions. Get ready in the chat. Because if you can answer these, the first person to answer these questions correctly will get a free month of the Magic Money membership. So you guys ready? Are you guys ready? It's not going to be an insurance question. But it will be a question if you follow me at all or watch my YouTube, you should know some of these answers. Okay. You ready? How much money did I make in my first year or my first month of the business? I've shared this on my YouTube channel. I've shared this on my page. My sister even shared it recent. Okay. Some people are pretty close. A lot of you are saying 200. But it wasn't exactly 200, not 20K. You think I was making 20K the first month of my business? That would have been epic. The ones who are saying 200 are the closest, but it technically was a different amount. Let me see if anyone else. I meant to add a 0 to that. 5K. No, we were nowhere near the 5K amount, not even in the thousands at all. Okay. Okay. So let's see. I'm not exactly okay. Now some people are just guessing around the Rhonda, Rhonda on the money. $220. $220 was my first month in the business. So I only made $220 my first month. My sister was actually like, that's all you made? Like, are you sure you're going to be able to sustain this? Yes. So $220 was the first month in business. So, Abigail, if you can notate that, Rhonda was the first one to answer that correctly. The 200 ones were close. You guys were close. But it was actually 220. So $220 was what I made the first month of my business. How many people would have quit? If you started a business and you only made $220, how many of you would have quit? I didn't quit. I wasn't going to quit. Perfect. We have it too, Abigail. I just need to remember her name. I mean, I'm going to remember Rhonda, but make sure I don't fail at doing it and signing her up. Okay, perfect. That's 220 more than you had. Yes. Yes. Perfect. Okay. All right. Next question. What is my baby's name? What is my baby's name? Yeah, I named her after myself. So I very often put her on Facebook as Baby Liz, but her name is Melissa. I named her Melissa Jr. I wanted my light to shine real bright. Melissa Jane, it's actually Melissa Johanna. So that was actually pretty close. I did want an MJ because her cousin started calling her Melissa Jr. MJ. And I was like, okay, let's have an actual middle name with a J. So we did Johanna because that was my great grandma's name. Okay, perfect. So then Vanessa, I don't know if Vanessa, please message Abigail your information. Or Abigail, please make sure you get that for Vanessa. Okay, let me see if I have another question in mind. I had written down a couple of them. Yeah, those were the two I'd written down. What? Oh, that would be silly. I was like, what's my middle name? No, I already have it up there. That's silly. All right. Well, I did want to give it away. Okay. One of the things I also want to ask is what do you guys desire to see more from me in relation to money or whatever it is, based on the things you've talked to me about, based on what you heard me? Is there anybody who has any questions? And like, I'm cool. Like if you unmute and ask me a question. So I want to hear from you guys what you feel is important or what you would like to learn more about or what you're interested in or what, if you want to pick my mind about anything. I really feel like I went all over the place. I normally just kind of go with the flow and go with what happens. I feel like only half of what I said was what I had planned. But I just trust that whatever happened was supposed to happen. But I would like to open the floor to see if there's any questions. So are there any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
I was just wondering, as you were building your business, did you have moments or take time to like visualize what you wanted, or were you just kind of like just generally knowing that you wanted to make more money, or did you actually like put a demand on your desire, like you started writing down like exactly how much you wanted?
Okay. Yes. All right. So you're and if anyone isn't familiar with this, Antoinette is talking about kind of like a vision board or declaring, because in the terms of manifest, we didn't even talk about manifesting, but when you shine your bright light, this is one of the big points I wanted to hit that I didn't. So I'm so glad you asked this question. When you shine your light bright, you are able to control your life to a level you never understood before. When you are shining as you, when you are authentically you, when you are expressing yourself as you have way more control over what happens. So like Annette said, did you write down or did you visualize making more money? And so ultimately what we're trying to, and I'll kind of address that question, but you kind of triggered this for me, but you get to be the author of your life. Most of us are living as an NPC, which is your circumstances happen to you. Boss said this, child said this, so-and-so said this makes me mad. And now I'm so angry. And now I'm going to wonder about this for days. And now I'm going to be grumpy. Most of us live like that. You're an NPC. You're not actually and that's a video name, a video game name for somebody in the background who's not aware of what's going on. Everything's happening to me. In order to be the main character of your life, in order to be the director of your life, in order to be the author of your life, you need to be able to shine your bright light. And once you do, you become a lot more in control of what happens. So to your question, Antoinette, is when you the making a vision board, writing out what it is you want, is trying to force in a way. I don't want to say visualizing is so important. I want to clarify, like, I visualized so much. A lot of what I did was Dr. Joe's Dispenza meditation, where he has you visualize what kind of life you want to have, what do you want to do. And I would visualize every morning a wonderful, amazing life, being able to look out in the green, look out into the wilderness and just see green, because that's what I love to see, trees and mountains and a stream. I would visualize myself traveling. I would visualize doing all these things. And it is very important to do that. I think it's super important to do that. Yes. But when you, and also, I would highly recommend learning what is called human design and what your human design is. And this is something my sister Sarah does. So if you're interested in this, you could talk to her about it with the up level class. But we are all designed a specific way, and we operate the best in certain frequencies, certain energies. I am what's known as a non-specific manifester, meaning that when I try to attach a specific thing, it can be a little wonky for me. I kind of have to be non-specific about it. So I don't know, but I do say things like, I'm working on a 6-figure month. I'm gonna, like, one of the biggest things I did was audio. I spoke it out loud. So many of us are terrified to speak it out loud. Like, I don't want to tell people that I'm going to start a business, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, and then I'm going to have thousands of followers, because if it doesn't work, I'm going to be embarrassed. What will the neighbors think? Like, this is one of the traumas that we carry around, is we are terrified to use our voice to say what we want. We are terrified to tell people. I did so much healing work that when I began to tell people that I was gonna, nobody really called me crazy or anything. But I had experience in the past where I was still relying on people's opinions. I was still worried, what will the neighbors think? And I was terrified to tell people that I wanted to be famous. I want to be famous. I am famous. I'm a celebrity at this point. People, if you know me, you see me in public, you want a selfie with me. Like, that's what it is. But there was a point in my life where I didn't want to admit that. Oh my God, my sister's here, and she's the person I'm literally talking about right now. The very first time that I said I wanted to be Facebook famous was to my sister. And it felt weird to say Facebook famous, because I had a belief that people who are famous are egotistical, are, just selfish. Like, I had created all these ideas about what that meant for me, based on programming, condition, and all kinds of stuff. That the first time I said it was in a safe space to my sister. I want to be Facebook famous. It was terrifying to say that out loud to anybody for a very long time. I felt it for forever. Like, not necessarily Facebook, but I felt like I was meant to be known by a lot of people, like worldwide. I saw myself in my head speaking on stages to hundreds of thousands of people, but never would I admit that to anybody. My light was very dimmed. My light was coated by beliefs and programming and trauma. And I was scared, but I had done some work. I had done some healing. I had gone to some, therapy. And I finally admitted to my sister I wanted to be Facebook famous. And she said, that's so cool. That's awesome. How can I help? Like, she was not opposed to, she didn't say, that's weird, or yeah, that probably won't work out for you. Like there are people who will say those things. And that's why we are scared to say what we want to say. But when we start saying what we want, is your voice like it's a spell. Spelling. Words are spelling. Your words, your speech is a spell. So what you say, you are literally casting a spell. This is why we have to be cautious. Like when we say my life sucks and this is so horrible, if you start your day stubbing your toe and thinking your day is awful, and you say that out loud and you say it on Facebook and you post it and you complain and you're telling all these people about how awful your day started because you stubbed your toe, and like this is, all these things, you're creating more of that. You're creating the momentum of that with your words. But imagine if you used your words a different way. My life is amazing and it gets better every day. I'm able to share my talent and my love with the people, and the people love it. I'm able to make hundreds of millions of dollars doing what I love. I'm able to impact the entire world. I'm able to share my voice and activate other people to share their voice. I've inspired millions of people around the world to do what it is they want to do. I have lit people up from the inside out so that they uniquely express themselves. Some of the things I said are not true yet. That hasn't actually happened yet. I don't know if I am known by millions yet, but I speak those things into existence. So like you can go back, you can go on my Facebook and you can see that I was like, I made $200 this month. And it was even in the first month, I remember even telling my sister that when I have $1 million, I will invest in her business. I want her to help start a school that is totally different from other schools, Wardoff, which is amazing. But like I spoke into existence from the very beginning that my business would be a success. From the very beginning, I boasted and I only made $220. I was like, I will become a millionaire from this business. I will impact people all around the country from this business. I will be known all around the insurance industry from this business. I spoke it. And it's becoming real. It's happening. Your voice is so powerful, but we are so scared to use our voice because other people might say something about it. So what if you go to someone and say, I want to be Facebook famous, and they're like, that's dumb. It's dumb for you. That's fine. I think it's great. I'm doing it. A lot of us don't have the emotional capacity to handle that. Someone says it's dumb and then we go, oh my God, I think it's dumb. And now I'm crushed and my life is over and I'm so sad. I never should have said that out loud. That's how I used to operate. I think that's how a lot of people operate, but I'm here to tell you that you can operate differently. I had a friend just the other day who posted on their Facebook, they're a trans man, which means people used to call them a woman, and now they're telling people I'm a man, call me a man. And they had a friend who didn't call them a man when they wanted to be called a man. They kept calling that person a woman. And it was like, this ruined my day. How dare they did that? Like, this is so awful. And I'm like, why does that person hold any power over you to make you feel bad about your day? You know who you are. You know who you are. But you're deciding that those person's words are enough to make you sad, are enough to cause you to feel pain in your body. Like, why does that person own any power over you? No one else's words should impact you to where you can't decide how you feel about yourself. I feel so strongly about myself. The guy today called me spastic and freakish, and I saw it as a compliment instead of a negativity. Someone commented on my page like, oh my God, what a troll. I'm like, I don't feel trolled. You may feel trolled if someone says that to you. I don't. I see it as that person acknowledged my crazy energy that I'm exuding in the world, and they use the word spastic and freakish. I just gained a new fan. That guy's confused about me. He might watch me for a while and be like, what the hell is this chick up to? Because she don't act like any other woman I've ever met. No one else's opinion of you should dictate who you are and how you operate. And I've honed that energy, and I still a little bit rely a little bit on David, my husband, with some of the ways that I feel, but I think that, just comes in as your masculine partner there to protect you and keep you safe, that I'm allowed to be a little vulnerable in front of him. But like, you can't come in here and tell me that I'm ugly or I'm stupid or I'm an idiot or that what I'm saying is so awful. And then I'll leave and be like, oh my God. I'll be like, okay, you're missing out. Sorry, bud. That's how I feel. And I use my words to make that even more powerful. So, more to answer your question, Annette. Yes, I use visualization. I think that's super important. But most important beyond those things is to know that you can receive all that you want to receive when you are exuding your own unique energy. I honestly feel like for me right now, it's not super important to declare a next level of income. I've achieved $1 million. I want to see 6-figure months. I believe this is the month I'm going to see $100,000 in my course sales, which is something I've been shooting for and rooting for. I think everything now will be a celebration, but I feel so in tune with who I am that hundreds of millions of dollars feels normal to me at this point. It doesn't feel weird to say hundreds of thousands of dollars are coming my way. Hundreds of millions of dollars are coming my way. I already feel like that check has been written. It's just takes a little time in the 3D world to show up. When this is how I like to say it, is like your bright light, when your bright light is shining, you are able, and your bright light shines when you are directly yourself. Okay. When you are uniquely you, the way you want to be, when no one else's opinion about you sways you, when no one's other words tear you down, when no one can make you feel negatively about yourself, where you know that you are perfect and amazing and exactly the way God's source energy made you to be, when you are in that frequency, when you know that there is nothing wrong with you, that you are awesome as you are, then that's when those desires roll in. That's when the money, the things you want come in, the relationship you want comes in, the money you want comes in, the business you want comes in, all the boat you want comes in, the things that you want come in when you are radiating as yourself. Now, I'm not saying you need to completely be healed, that because you never quite will be. There will always be something else along the journey. But the more you are radiating you beyond the beliefs and the doubts and the fears that other people gave you, the easier it will be to attract and receive the things that you want to have in your life. I think it's great to write stuff down and to have a goal of those things. I think it's important to visualize those things. Absolutely. And I would dig into a little bit about your human design to figure out what the best way for you to do that is. There's a million different tools of manifestation that you can use. Writing things down is one of them. Visualizing is one of them. That doesn't always land for everybody. But speaking, I think, is definitely the most powerful for everybody. So keeping it to yourself in a little notebook that you want to make 100,000, I don't think is quite as powerful as saying out loud, I'm going to be making 100,000. Watch me do it. That's where the biggest magic is for me in that. Does that answer? Did you have any follow-up questions? I kind of went on a big old tangent there.
Well, I guess what I took away from your explanation was that you somehow you just embodied what you were believing for. So it wasn't so much about doing things, right? It wasn't so much about visualizing at this time of day or writing things down every week. You embodied the mindset and the state of someone who was already successful. If that makes sense. That's what
Yes.
I took away from what you just said.
You said that so beautifully. Thank you for like saying that. Yes, and I actually did a workshop on that. It's on my YouTube channel, The Path to Designing Your Next Level You. Like, in order for me to be $100 million me, I have to do and be what I think $100 million me would do or be. Like in order to, like, if you want to be a person, like I imagined $100,000 a month me, that person would be madly in love with her house. because in my mind, she would be able to afford the house that she wants, right? Like she'd be able to pick everything about that house. She'd be able to decide everything. She would keep it clean and beautiful because I'd have $100,000 a month and I'd be able to pay for people to keep my house clean. Like these are like, you have to truly think, if I was making $100,000 a month, what would my life look like? What would I be doing? What would I be feeling? And then as best you can in your current reality, you need to think and feel those things now. So like I was like, $100,000 a month me is madly in love with her house. I need to be madly in love with my house now as it is. And in fact, the house I live in right now is quite nice because we remodeled it, but it's not perfect by any means. But when I started, one of the first places I lived in when I started this business, David and I moved into a house that was not meant to be a house. It was built to be a daycare. They modified it into a house. The toilet was separate from the shower. The shower was like this afterthought thing that was thrown together. It had a floor that was like not a floor. It was like dirty. It was like black. It was, I don't know. It was like asphalt in the shower. It was weird. I don't even know how to describe it. And like there was just thing, and then the toilet. Every time I flushed the toilet, you had to hold it for like a solid minute before it would begin to flush. So every time you go to and I'm like, oh my God, I have to hold this toilet thing down. And I'd be so annoyed. And I'm like, $100,000 you would not be annoyed by these things, would not hate her house. So what can you do now to love your house? And I was like, I love that I have indoor plumbing. I have water coming through these pipes. I'm able to go pee and have it flush away and not worry about it. I'm so grateful for indoor plumbing. I am so grateful that I can have a hot shower. I don't care about what's happening under my feet. I'm having a hot shower. I would focus on the things that I could love, and I tried to make it as lovely as I could. And because $100,000 a month me loved her house. So I needed to love my house now, whatever it was available. This is true for your partner too. Like you may have some struggles with your partner, but if you want your partner to be different, to feel different when they're around you, you can't be like, you need to change and you need to be different. You need to love all the things about them that are wonderful rather than admonish them and be angry at them for the things that you don't like, that you want to be different. You have to see the other side. You have to focus on the other side, the positive side, the happy side. I'm not saying that sadness is bad or that's one of the biggest misconfusions we have about manifesting. Like The Secret. I love the movie The Secret. It got me started in all of this, but they say you need to think positive and then you'll get what you want. We've decided that certain feelings and emotions are not positive, but that's incorrect. Even sadness can be positive. My other sister, not Nola who's here or Sherelle, but my other sister threw me $1 million party. And I'm crying and I'm happy and I'm sad. It's not to say that sadness is negative. It's sadness is sadness and it gets to be sadness and you can feel sadness. That every emotion is temporary and it moves on. So, and you can also, you might feel disappointed that your toilet takes a minute to flush, but can you be grateful that there's running water? Yes. Like you got to find as much beauty in your life as you can if you want more beauty to come in. But if you find ugliness and you point out the ugliness and you talk about the ugliness, like, I hate that my toilet flushes this way. I hate that the floor looks this way. I hate that the kitchen is set up this way. I hate that the whatever. You can't bring in a better house by hating the one you have. Like I brought in a better house by loving the one that I had. And that's where the embodying comes in. So like, again, I had to think, what would $100,000 me be doing with her day? Most of her days, she would be hanging out with her baby. I had a belief that if I'm making $100,000, that I would have enough money so that things could run and I could take all the time I wanted to be with my baby. So then I started, okay, well now I have to spend time I need to be spending more time with my baby. If I believe to have $100,000. If I believe that $100,000 me spends most of her day with her baby, I can't at the same time go, I need to work my ass really hard to make $100,000 so then I could spend time with my baby. I need to spend the time with my baby now. I need to do the things now, because the more that you are being the version of you that has all the money you want, the version of you that has all the houses and the things and all the stuff, and maybe you don't even want all these things. You just want to not have to work again. What does you who not work, what do they do? So like if you're like, all I want to do is paint figurines, but I'm so busy working I can't paint figurines. You've got to find a way to start painting figurines. You got to find a way to do the thing that you think you would do once you hit the jackpot and you have all the millions of dollars. Even if it's like 10 minutes a day that you can paint, do it. Do the thing you think your highest money-making self would be doing, because the more you're doing what you think they would be doing, you become that person really fast. That's called a quantum leap. So this is a whole other thing. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this. There is a field of all potentials available. Everything, anything that you've ever visualized, like I visualize myself on stage. I visualize that because it is a possible reality in the quantum field. And I'm accessing that reality. A quantum leap is when you go from for me, making $1 million was a quantum leap. I was a corporate worker making $60,000 a year. How many years would I have to take to work to even get close to making $1 million? And I would never even see a lot of that money because I'd have to spend it on my living situation. So for me to go from making, so let's say, 2 years time in my corporate world, I'd make 120,000, 60,000 a year, 120,000. I am now a person who made 1 million in 2 years. I quantum leaped from the version of me that makes only 120 to the version of me that makes $1 million. And now I'm ready to quantum leap into the hundreds of millions. I'm ready to, that possible potential exists in the quantum field. You can, anything you want, you can access in the quantum field. And that's probably a whole other class that I could talk about. But anything is possible, but it's really hard to make it possible when your light is dimmed. When you hold beliefs that other people give you, when you doubt yourself, when you worry, that's when it makes it really impossible. So the more you want to be the most you that you can be, and that's when your desires roll in so easy for you, is when you're radiating your unique self. If we think about, for those of you who understand manifestation and all of that, like you have a knowledge of it, think about the universe has the bank of the universe. And inside of this bank, like think about Harry Potter goes down to his little thing and you open the door. Like you have a safety box with them. You have a door, like Harry Potter has a door at the bank. And the way to open your door is by your unique light shining into the lockbox. When you show up to your bank of the universe that has every desire in it, all the things you want to have, all the things you want to experience are behind this bank door, and you show up to it not as your authentic self, your light is being dimmed by other people's beliefs, by opinions, by worries, by trauma. Your light isn't shining and it can't open the door. The only way to open the door all the way completely, like you may half shine and get a little bit of your desires creep through, a little bit of evidence creeps through. But the way to really bust open that door to get all the stuff behind it is to shine your unique bright light. Now, to that point though, you might be like, okay, as soon as like Melissa's shining authentically as herself, she should have all the things that she wants. You also have to be able to have the structure in place for the things that you want. or you might also have to have the character for the things that you want. So one example, I just heard this from Melissa Dillon and I, who's amazing, by the way. She talked about Walt Disney had 33 attempts of going to a bank before they finally said yes. So he went to go get a loan or whatever, and he went to 33 banks. That means he got 32 no's. 32 times he went to a bank and they said no. Only on the 33rd time did somebody say, yeah, okay, we'll give you money for that. What kind of character did he build? He goes to a bank, they say no. 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 If he was weighed down by that, he would have stopped at like the 5th time. I don't know that I would have tried 33 times for something like that. But he built a resilient character where he's like, I don't care how many no's I get, I'm going to get a yes. I just need to keep going. He needed to be able to build that resiliency, to have that resiliency. Like you have, when you build a muscle, you have to keep practicing over. You have to lift the weight, 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 lift the weight. And not just one day, not just 2 days, not just 3 days, not just 4 days, not just 1 week, not just 2 weeks, not just 3 weeks. If you really want to build like a muscle so that it's visible for everyone else to see that you have a muscle, it is a lot of work, multiple days for you to make that happen, multiple weeks, months, depending on to make that happen. So if you want a multi-million-dollar business, which is something I want to have hundreds of millions of dollars. I want to be billionaire status so that I can just have all kinds of fun, but also take care of all the people. Like that was one of the things my sister, she had a belief that money will make you evil. Money will make you bad. But I have never been a person who's been like evil or bad, like with money. There's been some level of like control and manipulation, like especially with my eldest daughter, who was like, I will only financially help you if you do what I say. But that's because I thought it was best for her, not because I was mean or evil. Like we, as a parent, we do what we think is best, not because we're mean or evil. But like she even said at the party, she's like, if Melissa had $1, it was like we had $1. If you were with me and we go to a restaurant, I will do my damnedest to pay for you. Like I even, when I was younger, I told you how to go to the bars drinking. My friends would come and they're like, I don't have enough money. I'm like, don't worry, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. We're all going to have a good time. So when I have billions of dollars, that's what it gets to be. It won't be like Melissa has billions of dollars. It's like the world has billions of dollars, because I'm more and more generous the more that I get. It just gets to roll out. It just gets to take care of everybody. I want to bring in enough that no one ever feels like they're lacking anything. So money just amplifies what you already are. It just expands upon what you already are. I feel like I lost myself in what I was talking about there, but okay. Oh, Boo Boo, I love that. Okay, when this ends, yes, yes, yes. Okay. She's pregnant. Yes. Okay. So also Anita says, I call the universe a she, as she's pregnant with abundance and wants to give it to you all, but you have to believe it to receive it. Okay. This is the thing about manifesting, is it is the relationship. If we think about, and this comes from, I learned this with Melanie Ann Layer, and I had already started to feel this myself, because as I had my daughter, I would watch my daughter fall, struggle to climb on something and fall, and I would allow it to happen. But I have to allow it to happen. I have to let her fall so that she has to learn balance, so that she has to learn caution, so that she has to learn that she has to grab onto something. I also have to be in charge of, like, if her dad puts out a plate of cookies and she wants to eat all the, I have to stop her at some point. It's not going to be good for her to eat a whole plate of cookies as a little baby, So as a mother, and then also another thing about motherhood is sometimes I can't pay attention to you. I gotta, like, you want to eat, I gotta go cook. You want to experience that, you want us to be able to have a house, a car, all these things. I got to go make money to have those things happen. I can't always be on my daughter 100% of the time. So I was beginning to start feeling like, what if like the relation, like we think about God all the time as a man, but what if we start thinking about God as like mother? And then Melanie said that manifestation is the relationship between mother and child. Think of the universe as mother, and we are her children. So would it be okay for a mother to give the child everything they wanted when they wanted it? No, it wouldn't be okay. I would not. Like my sister brought me a strawberry slushy, like a lemonade slushy. The thing is probably loaded like with so much sugar. And my baby was like, I want to sip it. And she would probably sip it until she got sick if she sipped it. Would it be a good idea to let her have it just because she wants it? No, it would not be good for her in the long run. So when we want to manifest something and it's not coming, like this is my daughter, like bloody murder screams if I don't immediately come to her. This is a recent thing, so it's new to me. I'm working out my feelings with this. She will just scream and scream and scream. And I'm like, if you want the snack, I have to make the snack. You want the watermelon? I'm going to have to cut the watermelon. I'm going to have to put it into cubes. You can't instantly have the watermelon. I have to set you down. I have to cut the watermelon to make it happen for you. When we understand that that is how manifestation works as well, that when we tell the universe, hey, universe, I want something, and then it doesn't happen, we're like, oh, this manifestation doesn't work. You got to allow the mother, the universe, to make it happen. There's going to be time. And then there's also like, maybe that's not good for you yet. If I had made millions, if I had made $1 million in my 20s, it would not have been good. I was not a person. It wouldn't have been good. I would have spent it all on like, my sister just told me a story about how one of the people in her life, she knew his mother, his actual mother had worked very hard to make sure that when she died, her son would have a nice little nest egg. She died. He was so much in grief. He blew every penny in Las Vegas in a span of about 2 weeks. She worked her entire life to make sure that he had money so that he could take care of himself for the rest of his life. And he blew it all in 2 weeks. Gone. Everything she had built for him. It's not always good to get everything all at once. It would have been better if that had been staggered out for him so that he wouldn't be overcome with grief that his mother died and spent it all. There are times where it needs to take time. We're like, I learned about manifestation. I know how this works. I'm supposed to say what I want. I'm supposed to feel good about it. I'm supposed to visualize it. I'm supposed to write it down, and it's supposed to come my way. And that doesn't happen. And then we go, oh, it doesn't happen. It doesn't work. This is stupid. Why do I do this? But you have to trust that there's a reason that that's not coming in. Or maybe there's something better for you that you're just not aware of yet. There are so many times in the course of building this business that I thought it had to look this way. I thought it had to be it must be like this, or it has to be like this, or it won't work. And every time I tried to make it like that, there was something preventing me or stopping me. And on the other side of that, I realized, oh, it could be so much easier than what I thought. I'm so glad that it didn't work the way I thought, because this is much easier. So you may have a manifestation that you think is amazing, and then you want it and you're doing all the things and it's not coming. And then you're like, the universe hates me and I'm being punished and whatever. But maybe that's just not the ultimate thing you want. Many times we're limited to what's possible based on what we think is possible. There's infinite opportunities of what's available to you. Like if I were to tell you, like I want to be speaking on a stage to hundreds of thousands of people. And right now I'm, as the insurance exam queen, I'm like, okay, my stage is as big as the insurance world. What other avenue do I have that people would want to come to me for? or learn about from me. And I was just presented, I can't talk about it yet, but I was just presented with this huge opportunity that will expose me to way more people than people taking the insurance exam. And I am super stoked about that. It was not something I would have written down as a potential manifestation. I would have been like, okay, well, first, everyone in the insurance industry will know me. And then once they know me, then like I could write a book about something else. And then it would help bridge me into other than the insurance world. Like, whereas this was like, hey, somebody else invited me into their space unrelated to insurance, and I get to show up as that person. And so like sometimes we think it has to be like this way because this is what we understand and this is what we think, but we have to trust there is a greater thing happening. Like, for instance, you know, like with your child may say, I want this. I think this is perfect. This is what I want. And you know that there's something better for them, that if they just wait, like, I want to get the candy at the store right now. And you know that you've made their most favorite dessert at home. And you know, you should only eat so much sugar in a day, right? Like, it's not good for you to eat tons of sugar. So you're like, okay, if you have this candy now, you won't have the thing I made at home. And you're like, yeah, that's what I want. And then they watch you eat the thing at home and they're like, man, someone had that thing. Like, we don't always know what's available to us because our minds are limited to what we think we understand. So allow yourself to say, this my motto is this or something better. So like, I will think of a manifestation, something that I do want to happen in my life, something that I would like to occur. And I will say it gets to be this or something better. And that's what the book, how to play the game of life and how to win it. I put it in the sheet. She talks about that. It gets to be this or something better, this or something better. Okay. Oh my God, it's so cool seeing you, Nola, on the screen. Are my babies there? Are they with you? Oh my God, Buddy! Hi, Buddy. I haven't seen you since you was itty bitty. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I love my family. Okay. Okay, I'm looking through the comments if there's any question. Okay, does anybody else have another question? What I'm finding here is I really like answering questions. I always wonder, like, I had the idea for the $1 Million Masterclass, and I didn't know exactly what it was going to be. I just knew I wanted to do it. And then I was like, there's something that I want to happen. And I feel like I really love answering questions. I think that it's better than me sometimes deciding what I want to talk about. So if anybody else have any other questions. It is getting kind of late, and my baby probably needs me too. So, okay. So, okay, Boo Boo, do you want everyone to say it at the same time? Is that what you're saying? Okay. So my sister asked, and I think it's really beautiful because it's so beautiful that she is the person that I literally said it to the first time. So she herself is a magical portal, which I think is incredible. I am Facebook famous now in current reality. I am famous enough that people see me in public and want to take a selfie with me. That was not something in my reality just a few years ago. And it was just a few years ago that I said it for the first time out loud. So what she says is it would be really amazing if everyone in this room unmuted, and no one's going to necessarily hear everything individually because we're all going to say it at the same time. So at the same time, say what your intention would be. So it could be whatever you want. I don't care. Say, I want to have my own insurance agency. I want to get pregnant and have my baby. I want to manifest my partner. I want to make $1 million this year. I want to publish my book. Pick something. Pick whatever it is. Pick something. And then Abigail, I don't know if you're going to have to unmute all. But
No, everyone can unmute themselves at this time.
Perfect. Okay, so this is how I want to end. Okay, this is magical. And my sister is a magical portal for this. So jump in on this energy because why not? So everyone take the opportunity to unmute yourself. And then I'm going to count down. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1. And on 1, I want you to say your intention, whatever it is. Pick something. Okay. All right. I think most people are unmuted. This is magical. I would have never come up with this idea. I love you so much, Nola. This I don't know if I should call you Nola because that's what your name says, but I'm gonna call you Boo Boo.
Whatever you want to call me is fine.
Okay.
Boo boo. I know that's what you want to say. Boo boo.
Boo Boo. My sister's Boo Boo. We call her Boo Boo. This is what it is. Okay.
I have
All
a
right.
question real quick.
Yes.
Please. Do we say that my intention is for, or I have it?
As
Or
is.
Oh, that's a good question.
As
as
it
it
I-
already is? Okay,
It is.
How I
Thank
plan
you.
to say is if it already is true.
thank you.
That's so like I'll give you my for example. I'll give you my for example. I am the
Just
world's
lay them down.
everyone in the world knows me and learns from me. That's my intention. So that's my for example. I am the world's teacher. Everyone knows me and learns from me. I literally mean everyone.
I want to step out and say.
One of my small intentions right now is $100,000 month, and I already know I'm going to hit it this month. All right, everybody good? There are some people still muted, but you might just not be here or available. Okay, I'm going to do the countdown. I'm going to do it. This is so exciting. Oh my gosh. Ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1. I am
have
the
a
world.
I have asked my
I
food
have
and I will
like
live a
15
happy life
to help
Woman,
people
freedom
all
for me and my
over the
family.
world, and I have a great time doing it.
80K to 100K months.
A
Yes.
picture of the precious.
Oh my gosh, that was so cool. That was
that was
like
so,
the coolest.
yes, nice.
Oh
I
my
like that.
gosh. I heard random little things throughout there and it was just lighting me up. Oh my gosh. All right, let's end on that note. Rhonda said, wait. I'm going to be emailing everybody who registered. One, I want to make sure you have that link of Nola is my sister in this. You have never met her, Rhonda. I'm going to email everybody some stuff. I want to continue our conversation and this has been really cool. And I think I'm going to do another thing where it's just a Q&A. So instead of me trying to
Oh,
figure
that'd
out
be
what
nice.
to say, we're going to do a Q&A next time. All right. I love you all. I'm going to go. I probably got a baby. Oh, wait.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Melissa.
You're so
Thank you so
welcome.
much, Melissa.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.